What is up, everyone, and thank you so much for clicking the link and taking a chance to watch this video. This video, I'll be talking about my last semester, which was fall semester of 2023, and how I think that it was America's worst senior year ever. Hence the title. The title might not be exactly that, I haven't really thought of it yet, but it's going to be something along those lines. Now, so many things transpired that I have to make a part one and part two. This is part one, obviously. So I want to tell you guys, last semester was such a dumpster fire. Literally went from worse to worse, sir.
It's nothing out here that has changed. If anything, it went from worse to worse, sir.
I am not joking in any way. It's kind of insane when I think about it. But I'll give you guys a quick overview, and I'll try to make it as quick as possible, and while also not sparing any of the details. So for starters, I'll paint a picture. So I just recently moved back to Syracuse, which is where I go to school at, from DC, right? I was in DC for last semester, which was spring semester of 2023. Spent an amazing semester there. Got to intern there. Got to go to so many events. Got to do my classes there and stuff. Amazing experience, hands down. Then in the summer, I did 2 internships in DC while also doing summer classes. Mind you, very hectic time, but so worth it. Had such a great time, great experience, all that, right? Got back to Q's, drove back, everything. I was like, okay, I'm here for the fall semester. It's gonna be really good. I'm going to intern. I'm going to have my classes and everything. And I plan on going abroad for this semester that we're currently in right now, spring semester, which is my last semester as a senior. And so that was my plan, and I was so happy, so excited. I was like, yeah, life's good, right? Everything's gonna be good. But little did I know. So got to DC, right? Got to Q, sorry. And one of the first things I did is apply to different internships that were going on in town. And since I'm a political science major, and I wanted to intern at a political office in DC last summer, and I didn't really get the chance. I got all the way to the interview stage, and they were like, "No, we don't want you." So I applied to different offices, and mind you, here they were so slow to even respond. I had to physically go there, knock on doors to even get an interview or anything. Got a couple interviews. One of them accepted me, and it was, ironically enough, the local rep that we have here for Central New York, Brandon Williams. I actually met him at an event in DC. I'll put a picture up somewhere. And he also famously got into a fight recently or something that was so public, but that's not a story for another day. That was just hilarious little whatever tidbit. But anyways, so I got accepted for that internship, and I was excited to start. And I was like, yep, it's gonna, and mind you, okay, so the day that my car was stolen, okay, so this is part one, car being stolen. And also, side note, hopefully my audio is good. It's my first time using this mic. I came with a pack of 2. The other one just does not work, but this one hopefully works and really saves the sound. Otherwise, I'll be very sick. But anyways, so, okay, this was the day. It was September 18th, if I'm not mistaken, right? I remember walking out. I was dressed up, had a nice blazer on, because that day I was supposed to start my internship, right? And I also had class too. So I was like, I'm going to go to this internship, and then I'm going to go to class. A car was stolen. Imagine the what is going on, walking up, and mind you, my car Bluetooth, so I could see where my car was parked through my phone. I opened the Maps app or whatever, and I could see, oh, your car's parked here. And also, I usually get lost, so it just made life easier. So, it said that my car was there, but it wasn't there. It was just gone. So of course I called the cops, everything, filed a report, and just never got it back. So RIP, I will put the picture of it up here too, somewhere. But, the car was not without its downsides, to be honest. My AC didn't work, and I was just coming back from DC summer, which is just very muggy, it's very hot. So imagine your car's cool, AC doesn't work. The car could not lock. I tried 3 times to contact locksmiths. They came and programmed, new keys for me. Still didn't work, could not lock. So that's honestly the main reason why it probably got stolen. It just could not lock. It could not lock. You could start the car without even having a key fob. You could just hop in and the car will start for you. Also, the car also have trouble starting. So sometimes it's like you would keep pushing it, and then a sign would say, there's no key fob, even though there is one. So it was not without its fault, and to be honest, the only thing I'm kind of sad about was the memories made and stuff. I drove that car from Texas all the way up here to New York when I first moved here. You know, I've been back and forth to DC. I've traveled with it. It's very sentimental value, you would say, right? But unfortunately, you know, that happened, and that was the first of a series of unfortunate events that unfolded last semester. So after that happened, of course, I was pretty bummed out. I was like really like, oh, like I don't have wheels anymore, because I would drive, you know, to campus and go to class. I would go shopping, like what, you know, it's my car. Like I do everything with it, and I love having a car. I really do. Or I loved having a car. So yeah, that was the first thing. Next chapter, eviction. So so yeah, this is absolutely wild too. Okay, so imagine you just had your car stolen, and like within like, so this whole eviction process happened in the same time where I was, the same time that the next chapter that I'm going to talk about happened. So they're both one in the same time frame, but I'll just start with eviction because eviction is the most just like shocking experience. Probably one of the most shocking experiences I've ever had to go through in life, and it's saying a lot because I have been through it. Okay, but this was just what. So, anyways, earlier in the semester, right? Like I was burning incense as I usually do because I'm someone who likes to have their room smelling nice and not musty. So, you know, I like to burn incense, candles, yada yada, right? Unfortunately for me, I was living in campus housing. In campus housing, you know, privacy is like, I mean, I'm not sure that's a thing for campus housing. So they were conducting inspections or whatever, and just going like apartment to apartment, room to room. And earlier in the semester, mind you, you know, I was burning incense or whatever, specifically frankincense. And the whole room just started to like smoke up and stuff like that. Smoke alarm was of course just going off like crazy. So I removed it and I set it like, you know, I set it in the living room, and it still went off. So I just set it outside, to be honest. And you know, that was that, you know. But when they did an inspection, they saw the smoke alarm was in there. They were like, oh yeah, what happened? You know, big deal, right? So eventually from that, you know, I guess for some reason they had like their own little rule, you know, like a hearing or whatever situation, and they said that I had to like write an essay. I had to pay them like $100 for a smoke alarm. I know damn well a smoke alarm does not cost that much. And also C, I had to pretty much move out of student housing. And mind you, they set a date for like mid-November, and this was like towards the end of the semester. So imagine like you only have 3 weeks left of the semester, pretty much. And they're saying, oh, you just have to just move out and find a place. And like the end of the semester, just pretty much do that. It was one of the most insane, like, I guess, situations I've ever been in. And to this day, I still am so sick and pissed about that. But, you know, that's pretty much what it was. When I heard, so mind you, throughout this process, because as I explain what was going on and stuff, you will see why I was just so mentally down. Like I was to a point where I barely even, or not even attended class, to be honest. After a certain point, I didn't really talk to like friends or family or anything. I was kind of just like self-isolated in a lot of ways. And like and I guess, you know, throughout this process, that the student contact office, you know, they were trying to like contact me like you know, like emails or like texts and stuff. But it's like, if I'm going through like a very major health crisis, what makes you think like the last thing I want to do is sit there and be like, just have a discussion about, or like, you know, be lectured on like a smoke alarm. Like that's the last thing on my mind at all. So yeah, like I pretty much did not, I guess, engage with the office or whatever, and that was their, I guess, you know, decision. And so I honestly didn't even know that was happening at all until like I would say like early November, I think. You know, like every couple of days they would send people over to my apartment and stuff. They would like literally like, you know, be like, oh yeah, you know, like, okay, here's a letter, like you have to leave by this date, yada yada, you know. And I'm just like, I'm not a criminal. It's like you would have thought that I like did something, but removing a smoke alarm, like really, that was just so insane to me. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much happened, and like I guess eventually, like when I really found out about it, I went to you know, like the director's office, whatever, and I literally was there for like 1 hour plus, just like, you know, I won't say really pleading my case because I obviously was very emotionally charged. So I was like pretty much just saying like, well, like, you want a homeless, like should I just be a homeless veteran, yada yada, because that is a stereotype, right? And I was just like, this is so insane. There's only 3 weeks left of the semester, which is, it was and it still is insane, and I'm not over it. You know, just doing that. I guess I should approach the situation maybe differently. I don't know if anything would have changed with that, but with that being said, I guess that's what had to happen. I had to kind of move out pretty much. But also, I would say this: if my roommate is watching this, or my older roommate Olivier, shout out to you, a real one, okay, a real one. Throughout the whole situation, whole process, or whatever, was just the most amazing person to have around, really. So thank you if you're watching this. But that was part 2 of that whole situation. So yeah, that affected so much. This also leads to chapter 3, which is car number 2. Like I said, this happened in conjunction with the whole eviction process or whatever. It happened around the same time, I would say. Even though I think the car 2 happened before I even knew about the eviction, but never mind. Anyways, so yeah, first car is obviously stolen, right? I need a car. I literally love having a car. It's my American God-given right, to have a car. So anyways, went to, so I got my student refund, right, which is a couple of $1,000s. It's not too crazy. And I was like, okay, first thing I'm gonna do is hop on Facebook Marketplace and get the cheapest bucket car I can get, because I just want something for this semester, because I already got accepted and I was planning on being in London for this spring semester, which I will talk about in my next videos, because that whole situation is another thing on its own. I'm not even gonna dive into that now. But anyways, went in the Facebook Marketplace, was scrolling. It took me a couple of days, messaging people. A lot of people don't respond, or a lot of cars are being sold way higher than they should be. But anyways, I found a car. It was for $1,800, right? $1,800. And yeah, and I messaged the person. They were very responsive, yada yada. I was like, okay, boom, right? So I took an Uber literally there. It was just kind of a sketch place. It was like a storage area, mind you. This was at nighttime. Pretty much I drove the car within the storage area, and almost all the lights you could possibly think of were lit up on the dashboard, everything, brake, fluid, oil change, everything. But I was just like, you know what? I just need a car for just 3 months, even if that. I just need a car to just take me from point A to point B, and afterwards it can blow up. I don't care. I just need a car for now. So I ended up closing on it, right? I brought the price down to $1,500. All I had was the title, right? And it was signed by the person who I guess said that car was hers, right? And I was like, okay, cool, yeah. Just to say, it sounds like a deal, right? I come to find out about a month and a half, something later, that the car is probably stolen. How? Because so and you can drive in a car and there's a little visor thing, if the sun's shining in your face, you would lower it down, right, to block out the sun a little bit or provide some shade. So I pull it down, and a name, right? I'm not gonna say a name because I'm not trying to expose people, but it was a name, and a name matched the name on the title of the car, and this was for a visitor's pass, whatever, the hospital. And there's a picture, and there's a white woman, right? And the people who sold me the car were black. So I was just two and two together, this car had to be stolen. It had to be stolen. But I didn't mind. I didn't care. But at that point, the car's already registered in my name and everything. So I was like, whatever. People have to do what they have to do, I guess. But anyways, so bought this sketch car in a very sketchy situation. I drove it home. A couple of days later, I was going to Papa John's actually to just get pizza or whatever, and I was planning on registering a car and all of that, but mind you, I just bought it 2 days before, and this was after the weekend too. So anyways, was driving, yada yada, and then there was a whole crowd of just cops to this one house, right? And I was like, oh fuck, I already know something's probably gonna pop off. And then it's I'm driving whatever, and then of course I get pulled over. I don't at that time I didn't have registered. The car wasn't registered. Didn't have insurance. There were no plates on the car. There was nothing. and so I ended up getting 5 tickets, right? Of course, registration, insurance. I guess one of the front headlights were out. What else? Oh, obviously, apparently my license was also suspended as well from a ticket that I received about a year earlier. Yeah, just everything. I forgot what the 5th one was for. I have to think about it. But, 5 tickets at once, that was just insane. And they towed my car and put it in an impound. So for the next week, I pretty much had to run around, just trying to get everything in order. Insurance, don't get me started on the whole insurance. I absolutely have beef with the car insurance. I absolutely hate car insurance companies, and dealing with them is such a pain in the ass, right? They were all trying to offer me, giving me these extremely high rates and stuff. I ended up having to pay so much money for one of them. Horrible experience. I'm so glad that for the next at least 5 to 10 years, I'm not even gonna have a car, because I don't want to deal with car insurance companies. They are just the worst. So yeah, that was one thing. Of course, the DMV, they had to get their little fees and stuff. Even though I paid like literally chump change for the car, they still have to get their money somehow, right? Not to mention the different Uber rides back and forth. And then the biggest, I guess, hit was the impound charges. So the car was held in impound against my will, pretty much, for about 5 days, I think. So I ended up having to pay them $500 just to get my junk piece of junk car, which is pretty much like a third of the car's price, right? And so I had to do all these things just for that. As a consequence of getting 5 tickets at one time after being pulled over, I had to go to court. Fortunately, my school does have a legal service, I guess, team, which were just phenomenal, amazing. Not only did they help me with these like 5 tickets and stuff, they also helped me with a ticket that I received a year prior, which was the main reason why I had my license suspended in the first place. And on top of that, I had to pay a fee for the license, but thank God the legal team had all whatever charges, whatever you can call them, reduced to simply a non-moving violation, and I only had to pay a small fee. So thank you so much to the Q's legal team. You guys are amazing. And actually, because of them, I'm actually really inspired to go to law school one day. As for car number 2, currently it is parked, I won't say really where, but it is parked in a secure location. And I also don't have car insurance on it. I guess it's still registered to my name, whatever. But I do plan on scrapping that car as soon as I graduate, because I don't want to ever drive that car again. The last time I was in was probably the most terrifying car ride of my life. Imagine your car brakes just completely give out, and you can't stop. Like, you literally can't stop. Okay, try using the emergency brake, right? That doesn't even work at all. Like, it was so terrifying, man. Like, imagine, like, just driving. Like, you can't stop. You can't stop at a stoplight. You can't stop at a red light. You can't stop. It's like a death trap. It's a death car, literally. And so that's pretty much where we're at right now. I think it's what? It's a 2008 to 2009 white Dodge Caliber. I think I have a picture of it somewhere. I'll put it up somewhere. But my God, by far the worst. I mean, what can you expect? It is a shit box, but not for the brakes completely give out. Like, that's kind of insane. So rest in peace, right? Now, the last thing I want to touch on in this video, I don't want to go too long. Like I said, there will be a part 2 where I talk about, you know, what happened after this, because it is a whole story, and even a part 3, more specifically about London itself. So stay tuned and come back and check it out. But anyways, I guess one of my biggest lessons from this whole experience as a whole, right, is like the importance of like mental health and like seeking therapy, seeking counseling sometimes. Because before this, I did, you know, once upon a time try to seek mental health in the past, but it was very like inadequate and subpar. This was when I was still in the military, which, I mean, you can imagine, like, I mean, whatever. And so I came to the conclusion before that, you know, if I'm going through stuff, whatever, only God will be able to help me, right? That was my conclusion. God is important. It is important to have faith in your life. But what's also important, too, is to utilize the different tools that we have available, right? We have counseling and therapy for a reason, right? That's literally their job, is to sit there and listen to what you're going through and offer some help and insight when maybe you might not be able to offer it yourself, right? Just going through therapy and stuff, like, I feel like towards the, like, I'll say, like, around this point of the story was when I went to therapy for the first time after the military, and I was like, wow, you know, and because, like, before that point, I didn't share this with any family, any friends. Like, I kept it all to myself. Like I said before, I was you know, isolating. I won't speak to anyone. But it's like, no, it's not that serious, you know. In life, we all go through things. We all go through certain challenges or like hardships or roadblocks, whatever it may be. And your friends and family are there for you. They're in your corner, the same way that you are there for them, right? I mean, it's like, it's like, are they really your friends or family if they're gonna judge you like that? No, like, you know, after sharing stuff, for the most part, we just like laughed about it because it wasn't even that serious. But going through it, I was like so tense. I was like, oh, it's not that serious, okay? So if you watching this or anyone ever, you know, is going through something, whether it's this or whether it's something that's even more insane or crazy, or even something that's like nothing, you might think it's like not big of a deal. Just talking about it just alleviates so much of that pressure, and just share it, you know, just share it. If there's a close friend or a close family member and stuff who really cares about yourself, just share these things, and, you know, and just talking about it just helps so much. So there you have it. This is the worst senior year in America, part 1 of maybe even 4-part series that I'll be talking about stuff. And there you go. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Leave comments. Just talk to me. I want to know. I love any sort of feedback. Even if you say this is the most trash story ever, sure, I'll take it. Anyways, have a good day and catch you guys on part 2.